Mr. Griffey? I don't know what that was. Sounded
Okay.
like either
Okay.
we lost somebody or got somebody. Commissioner Ertel, you're still with us? I think we lost Commissioner Ertel for just a moment.
Okay. Commissioner Nolan here.
Okay, and Commissioner Eric Nolan, thank you.
Thank you. Let the record show there are 4 in attendance and we have a quorum this evening. First action is to approve the agenda as submitted to the commissioners for prior review. With the exception of one addendum item that the staff has suggested based on what will be the general manager's report. Would anyone else like any adjustments to the agenda? Commissioner Tell,
No, sir.
did you rejoin us?
Yes.
Okay. So as I was stating, you may or may not have caught that. This is the approval of the agenda, and I have, which I assume is going to be new business, correct? Which should be section 9. I have a 9.3 to add, commissioners, which will be to seek a motion to authorize council to send a letter to Tank Pro regarding the, I'll explain more of that in the full motion sense, but to take initiating action with Tank Pro on the corrective action needed to the paint job on the tower.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
So I have Commissioner Bisecker here by me, made the motion. Can I take you as a second, Commissioner Ertel?
Yes.
Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that amended agenda is approved and the one we'll operate under this evening. That moves us to public comment. Are there any public comments this evening? No comments. We'll move straight into the minutes of the prior meeting held on October 24th, again pre-submitted to the commissioners for prior review. Can I get a motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Commissioner Nolan motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bisecker
Second.
seconds. All in favor of approval action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries, leading us to the executive director's report.
Thanks, sir. We'll start with the altitude valve project at water tower number 2. The contractor has mobilized to that site and began prefabrication of some fittings and pipe. The notice to proceed was issued on October 3rd, and that's a 90 calendar day project. Lift station 17 force main project. Contractor is currently working on a couple punch list items, which we expect to be done early next week. Lift station 26 pump project. The contractor is working on shipping the pump materials, which are scheduled to ship out around November 25th from the manufacturer, which happens to be in Sweden. It's an estimated 4-week delivery time. Notice to proceed was issued June 21st. A stop work order was issued June 28th, just to give you a little history here. And that stop work order is in effect until further notice due to these shipping issues. That is also a 60 calendar day project. There was no abandonment easement this meeting. Water tower number 1 paint issues, which we'll talk about later on the motion. The full inspection report was received from Southern Corrosion Engineer Tank Care, and all information has been sent to our legal counsel, which we have been in communications. And I've actually spoken with Digital Engineering to start preparing a scope of work to get that tower repainted, following the legal course we need to take first. And some highlights from the maintenance department: 2 sewer cleanouts were installed, 2 sewer service lines were repaired, 5 new water and sewer connections were installed, 5 fire hydrants were replaced, 202 hydrants were inspected, 11 water service line repairs were performed, 10 after-hours repairs, which are all water related. Some other proposed new construction projects in town: the Preserve Phase 2 subdivision with structures of Diamond Head. The final review has been completed and is approved. So those guys will be moving forward with that subdivision. Diamond Head Lakes Phase 2, Meritage Homes, which was formerly Elliott Homes. Met with their engineer, Danny Boudreau, for preliminary review. I have received his revised drawings and have been sent to the district engineers for an estimate to do a professional engineer review. The AutoZone reportedly is still moving into the former Family Dollar store. They have not met with us as of today, so hopefully we'll hear from them soon. The commercial area transformation, Phase 1, Park 10 Drive in front of our office. The project extension was granted by City Council for the second time and is expected to be completed in December. Paving is scheduled for December 17th, according to the city manager. Turnberry Drive, work is in the final stages of completion over there. I think they still have to do some paving and some tidying up. Hooley Drive, that work is supposed to commence when Turnberry is completed. Hilo Way drainage project, we do have a meeting scheduled for December the 2nd with their engineers to discuss some current project drawings and potential conflicts with existing water and sewer underground. And the roundabout project with MDOT, as you know, the roundabout at Jex Drive is operational, air quotes. The south side roundabout appears to be about half complete. The westbound ramp is still closed, but seems to be their main focus of sorts. And as a reminder, the district offices will be closed Thursday and Friday in observance of Thanksgiving. The next board meeting will be scheduled for December the 19th. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dave. Questions from the commissioners for Dave on the report?
No,
Any-
sir. Well done.
Okay.
No, sir.
Mine are just curiosity questions. Dave, the 202 hydrant inspections, how many hydrants do we have in time ahead?
The total count is being done because we've added so many in these recent projects. So we're somewhere close to the 600 mark.
600 plus 600 thereabouts is what
Yes,
you're saying. How often are they inspected?
Annually.
Oh, and then again, curiosity, Elliott is still in business. Meritage bought phase 2 or what? Oh, they merged. This is hide the name to protect the innocent, or what is this?
Well, from what I understand, basically when there's a crash infusion, so they called him. But he's still, from what I understand, he's still running.
That's more than I knew, so.
Okay, well,
But I mean, I've not been told that firsthand, that's just.
Just-
what they go for.
just curious. They're all over the place,
They are.
so. Yeah. All right. Well, I have no further questions or curiosities. Thank you, Dave. Good report.
You're welcome.
All right, so the only thing I would say that would actually lend itself over, and just as well to open it up here, is a little more depth in the context of this investigative examination report that would tee up a motion in the new business item. So if you wouldn't mind going back in your report, opening up and elaborating on the investigative examination report that's leading to the action against the Tank Pro company. Need you to go wherever, especially for those on the phone, need you to go into just a little bit more depth of what they
Yeah,
found.
so, the report that I've given you, and I'll email the others
Mhm.
that are listening. But, basically, bottom line is, they've determined that the paint job is inferior or, not applied properly. Therefore, the undercoat is bleeding through, for lack of better terms, of the outer coat. And this is not a type of paint that you can come in and paint over. It has to be abrasively removed down to the primer level and then built back up to that final shine or sheeny coat that you see. With industrial coatings, it's a different ballgame than it is with any other type of painting, but it is, obviously, you know, and the original contractor said, well, you just need to wash your tank,
Wash the tank.
and we'll give you a price to do that. And I said, no, thank you. We need it corrected. It's
And they were
not-
gonna give us a price for them to wash our
yeah,
tank.
graciously. So,
That's very good.
that's kind of the ball of wax, you know, it's just a bad paint job and it's gotta be redone.
For everyone's benefit, maybe just my own, they remember, what was the price of this paint job?
$230, $250, if I remember correctly.
$250,000.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Okay. No, I don't think we're gonna take a paint, I don't think we're gonna take a washing.
Right,
Wow.
so, you know, I imagine that the curtain will have to be reinstalled, the sandblasting redone, and then primed and recoated.
But it is, so I would just play this back to you. This is the whole globe?
Yes, sir.
down to bare metal?
to the base.
It's not just one spot.
No, I got that,
And-
but I'm
and
just
so
making
you've got
sure that
these-
we're not taking the surface paint off and going to primer and coming
No,
up to that
it's-
level.
It's gotta
It's
go,
It's
it's
gotta
gotta,
go, it's gotta go to bare
down,
metal.
It's gotta go back to,
it's gotta go back to the bare
be
metal.
reprimed and recoated.
And the reason, why the danger if we don't, from what I read, is that where these spots are, moisture is going to infiltrate under and go all the way through. And so eventually it's going to ruin the whole tank.
Will look like a deep country water tower of 1930. Yep.
And there are a lot of details in the report that
Yeah, which
explain this.
obviously we haven't had a chance to read, but I just wanted the highlights. And
More
that's-
vividly than what I'm saying, but,
That's pretty much the highlights. Any questions regarding that report from anybody on the phone?
I'll bet there's some disappointed painters out there.
Certainly the company, Southern Corrosion, I mean, not Southern Corrosion, is actually one that did the
Tank Pro.
assessment. The Tank Pro, yes.
I don't think Tank Pro thinks we're serious, because the answer was, we'll wash it for you and we'll give you a price. So there's no desire that's been exhibited that we're gonna try to make this right.
Would you automatically exhibit a desire for $250,000 worth of repaint?
I would not do that, but I would try to make it right, cause you
Right.
can go out there and look and see a spot.
Yeah,
Short of Ray Charles, you can see the spots. So, I mean,
yep.
you know, somebody did something wrong and we didn't paint the tank.
Well, well, we'll wait to see that action in section 9 of the agenda, but I, for one, would not be likened to keep them from knowing how serious we are. So, we'll see if we get there in item 9.
It's been a while since we got to do anything.
Oh, we're serious.
I told David the other day I was ready.
We're serious all the time.
overdue.
Sharpening her claws.
Here's the most important part. We're very serious for the ratepayer not to pay another $250,000 of something that was poorly done. We're very serious about that,
Well,
so.
but it's not just the $250,000. If we don't do something,
No,
it's
no,
gonna
I'm
cost the
there.
ratepayer more.
Well, it's one and the same.
Yeah, it's
Without the
terrible.
proper application,
Yeah.
we're at risk of decaying a multi-million-dollar tank set. So, all right, well, thank you for staging that a little bit better. I would suspect I don't have to go back to that when we get to 9.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. All right, that leads us to item 6. The sections of item 6 being the construction engineering projects.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
There's
ma'am.
a item 5.1.
Oh, there is, isn't there? I was like skipping right over that, because, you know,
Thank you.
I didn't realize until now there was an action in the director's report. So in 5.1, presentation of the 2025 employee insurance renewal by James Moody with Cadence Insurance. How could I possibly miss that? Because here we have James with us tonight. I didn't think he liked us so much, he was just going to come in and join us.
No
Welcome,
problem.
James, back. I should say welcome back.
Thank you so much. Good evening, good afternoon. I am coming to present the 2025 medical renewal for the Diamond Head Water and Sewer District. This year has been a very interesting year. Every one of my clients in my book of business, as well as my colleagues, we all saw substantial increases this year, double digits. The market this year, in the market segment that the Diamond Head Water and Sewer District is in, and also the large group markets, we saw a healthcare trend around 7.3%. And what I mean by trend, that's just kind of the inflationary costs as we see in the healthcare industry as a whole. And this is a national thing. It's nothing specific to Diamond Head or Gulfport or Harrison County or whatever it may be. This is a national trend that we're seeing, and that's a conglomeration of overall costs, that's claims, that's a host of factors, new and emerging drugs and things that risk, claims, however you want to coin it, all that kind of factored into a trend itself. Obviously, we have national inflation, we have CPI, but we also have healthcare inflation as well. Unfortunately, Diamond Head Water and Sewer's medical plan this year was heavily impacted by just overall healthcare inflation. We didn't have a lot of claims overall on the plan. We ran just around, just under 100% in total loss ratio. I want to say that number was more so around 89-90% if I remember correctly. We did have some changes in demographics and characteristics, which overall has impacted the change in plan as far as demographics are concerned. This meaning we have changes in people's ages. We have maybe have some employees that may be in, female employees that may be in childbearing years, all that kind of impacts the overall risk profile of the health plan itself. We did, if you, I think it should be in your packets, we went out to United Healthcare and asked them to evaluate a plan that's similar to the plan that's in place right now. If you look on this sheet, you'll see actually it's about a 65% adjustment from where Diamond Head Water and Sewer's current plan is with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi, and that's at the renewal to what that plan of United Healthcare's would be. And that's just similar to the apples plan. All in all, we're looking at about a $33,500 increase in aggregate, and that's annual, which equates to about $1,500 increase per employee. And you break that down even further on a per month basis, we're looking at about $133 increase per employee to keep the same health plan that you have right now. The reality is y'all have a very good health plan. Again, we talk about this year in and year out, especially since you both have been on the board. Per the market, is very competitive. Blue Cross has hung on to y'all's plan. I know at one point they were trying to do away with it, but luckily we have been able to keep that around for y'all. It's a very valuable plan, low deductible, low max out of pocket for employees, and that's very important in terms of cost savings and just general cost for an employee. What we do try to do every year, guys, is just run a benchmark comparing Diamond Head Water and Sewer's medical plan to other utilities in the area, and that's this page right here. Obviously, y'all's rates are going up to $551 if you stay on the same plan that we're on right now. However, that does come with a $250 deductible to max out of pocket of $1,000. If you look at these other two utilities here, we're talking about a $396 rate. Yeah, that's lower. However, the plan itself is a $1,500 deductible, but that's paired with the secondary plan. So they actually having to go and buy secondary insurance, a gap insurance, to buy that deductible down. So all in all, they're less, but it's technically a much higher deductible and a much higher max out of pocket versus the $250 that we have right now in Diamond Head Water and Sewer. So all in all, the big ticker here is that healthcare trend was a major factor, or the key variable in the insurance within the increase this year for the health plan. And again, a small change in demographic did have a small impact on that as well. So all in all, we're looking at about a 10% increase, which is just over trend. And like I said, 3% of that is coming from overall changing the risk profile of the group. We have, this year we've been seeing increases, like I said, in the double digits, but they've been more so in the 15 to 25% range is what I've been seeing. So y'all are a lot lower than what I have been seeing and what a lot of my colleagues have been seeing. Again, they just hit you all with the healthcare inflation piece, and then just a small change in the risk profile. The dental, vision, disability, and life insurance, they're all in a rate hold this year, so there are no changes with those plans. We did make a minor modification to the dental plan this year just to include composite fillings in the dental coverage. The way that essentially works is that you have composite, then you have your amalgam. A lot of dental providers have actually gotten away from the amalgam. That's just going to be your metal fillings. They will cover a composite at the in-network rate if it's on the anterior of your mouth, but if it's on the posterior, technically going to balance bill you. So we actually had to make a small amendment to the dental plan just to make sure that was covered, because a lot of providers were trying to hit your employees pretty hard from that standpoint when it came to those composite fillings, and we didn't want that happening. It was only a slight change in rate of maybe a percentage point. So all in all, no rates are changing on that front. Vision staying the same. Disability and life insurance as well is through Reliance Standard is in a rate hold. So all in all, that is my presentation. Be glad to field any questions, if any.
Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.
Questions, I'll take them from the phone first. Any? Commissioner Ortell or Commissioner Nolan?
No questions.
No questions.
Well, I think it's suffice to say no one in the world's expecting these rates to stay constant anywhere. They haven't. So what is in the distribution, I know this is a very aggregate rate, but what is the average family rate change payment for the employee in the district? Do we know?
So right now, we're going, a majority of our employees take the family plan.
Right, that's why I
Okay?
asked it.
So $1,554 is the current rate for a family plan, for the family plan as of right now. Effective January 1st, it goes up to $1,708. So that's just under a $200 increase overall in that space. So, and I would have to get my calculator to add up what that looks like in aggregate, but
And that is per month or per year,
that's per month.
Okay.
$1,500, that's $200 per month.
right?
Yeah, or just under.
And the district picks up what portion of that?
I think I'll pay 90% if I remember correctly.
90%. So there's basically under that scenario, there's all but about less than $100 exchange to the family plan.
Yes, sir.
I'm just looking for the distribution out, considering, for your benefit, and probably know this anyway, we make ourselves competitive across benefits
Of course.
and payroll. Just trying to get a feel for that.
The total amount for the district for the year, the increase is about 31,000.
And how much was it last year, roughly? It was in the 20s, as I recall.
I'm remembering like 27 or 28.
Yeah, that's what I recall. So there isn't, while it's a change, percentage-wise and incrementally, the change is not unexpected.
No.
Commissioner Bisecker, do you have any questions? I mean, Blue Cross Blue Shield, at least in most enterprises, is the gold standard to stay in, as long as you can afford to stay in. And so,
I say it like this, I would ride this plan as long as I could. I work, we got bought with Caden's Insurance, we got bought with Caden's Insurance, a Gallagher company, we owned Arthur J. Gallagher in Q4 of last year. And you would think an organization with 52,000 employees would have a pretty solid medical plan, and it's not. We all have high deductible health plans, HSAs, there are no co-pays until you've met that deductible, quote unquote, no first dollar coverage.
you want to get your operator's license?
Robbie Collins at the county said, man, you can always come work over here. We'll find some. We'd be glad to find some.
That's right.
But no, all in all, you have a very good health plan. And it's not expected for the rates to go up, but I think from a rate standpoint, you all are well behind the market. United Healthcare reflects that. They're showing where you should be in the market for a plan of your stature. And that's a good thing worth knowing. So all in all, yeah, will the rates go up? Will they go down? They will. They will fluctuate. That's just how the market goes. It ebbs and flows. But all in all, I think y'all are still behind trend for a plan of this stature. I can tell you that now from a rate perspective. If we were to take it to another market like United, like Cigna,
No, I'm good.
we were looking at least $1,000. So,
Thank you, James.
yes, sir.
So the action tonight, of course, was to hear the presentation. Future action will be to take the renewal. Oh, it's on there? Okay. Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
don't
y'all.
guess we have any more questions for you.
Yeah, I'll be around.
So for y'all on the phone, bear with me a second. I'm going to assume you're Miss Rocca. You're a little late. I'm going to adjust the program, or suggest that we, commissioners, are going to back up to the public comment section and allow Ms. Rocca to present to us her case. Are you good with that? Bear with me just a second. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
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 Okay. So, Ms. Rocca, I'm Brian Griffith, the chairman of the board. This is Commissioner Bisecker, and we have two others on the phone. We're only missing one commissioner this evening, just so you know who you'll be speaking to. Okay. So, I don't know if we need to tee it up with any more definition than I think the board already is aware of. So, please, go ahead.
I'm a co-owner of the property here in Diamond Head, and I've been trying to put my water on for a year. Well, since January. The water board will not let me put the water on, for the policy says that every owner on the deed has to sign it.
That's pretty concise and very clear on the policy. Every owner, joint owner of a piece of property, within our service district has to sign off on the activation or the elimination of
Water.
service.
Y'all turned off the services without my signature, and she also received services, and so did other renters without my signature.
I'll have to allow I mean, this is so a little bit awkward in the terms of normally a public comment period is not an open Q&A, but we're gonna have a little bit more open discussion here. Currently, the service is off, has been off, and without and I'll ask the attorney and the general manager to reinforce or augment this statement. As I said before, the policy for the district, precedent set and held, is that all owners, filed owners of a piece of property, must actually attest to turning on a fee-for-service from the district and or turning it off. So in that particular case, I can't even offer any commentary on the prior history. I just know that our process is uniform. And as I understand it, your other co-owners are not in agreement with turning it on. So you see where we are.
Yes. They want to purchase me out of it.
I'm sorry?
They're trying to purchase me out of it and $6 million inheritance.
They're trying to purchase the property from you, take your portion. Well, that seems like not an unusual activity, especially when there's a disputed piece of property, maybe an estate or whatever it is. But until and such, so I understand it, and the attorney is here with us this evening, until and unless there is singular or new ownership and the very same provisions can be applied, and that is all owners of the property can activate the service or deactivate the service, we have nowhere to go, Ms. Rocca. So if whoever the other owners are trying to buy you out and you are refusing to sell, or they are refusing to meet whatever conditions, that is a separate and apart legal matter.
Right.
For us, all registered titled owners must attest to turning the service on.
So does that mean I should get a lawyer?
I'm not your lawyer. You can get a lawyer, and your lawyer can talk to our lawyer, and they can look at our policy and note that, it is.
Well, I already spoke to one, and he said that the state said that any owner can turn on any utilities in the state of Mississippi.
That is, well, I'll allow the attorney to speak to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. What did you just say?
I spoke to an attorney, Mr. Keller, and he said that the state of Mississippi says that any owner of any property can turn on any utilities.
Mr. Keller who?
Tim Keller?
He's not an attorney. He's
Anthony
a former.
Keller?
Who?
Anthony?
I have no idea.
He's the land attorney.
If you want to have him contact me, I'll be happy to talk to him.
Okay.
We're not going to be threatened. We have a policy. We're
I
going to
didn't
abide by
threaten you.
We're going to abide by it, and until otherwise, that's it.
Thank you. I'm sorry for being late and interrupting you.
So I'm sure if you don't already have it, you have your business card, or you have the ability to give her your contact info for her attorney. I'll make sure that she does that.
Thank you.
And sure. And
Happy to speak.
yep.
Here's the problem. If we cut you off, we're gonna have the same problem with whoever your other party. If you don't turn it on, you're liable to penalties for turning it on prior to someone to get notified. Well, I didn't turn it on. I don't know what you're talking about on that, so.
I appreciate y'all listening.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate y'all listening.
Sure.
You haven't did anything.
For future reference, should you come back, or we always start these meetings at 4 o'clock. And our agendas are published onto the website. Okay. Uh-huh. So commissioners on the phone, since some of this is visual and some of it's audio, the parties.
No, I remember the case.
Well,
Yeah, I remember the case.
She had an emergency turn on, and we had to turn it back on.
right. The,
Got it.
so but they have left the building. Elvis has left the building, so to speak.
Okay.
Our attorney Tricia would like to have, legal counsel would like to have something to say.
I think I more so I have a question, or where we need to go back. I'm not by any means taking what she said, the veracity. I mean, if we violated that policy, we need to know it. Don't want to be surprised.
I will add, we did not know that there were 3 owners on this property until she provided that deed back in January when she requested service. We had the original deed when it was turned on and off, only was by Ms. Robertson, one owner.
Her
That's
grandmother
that's
lived in
all
the
we
house.
had at that time until she provided a secondary, more recent deed in January showing that it was 3 owners.
But when the water was cut on under grandmother, was it on consistently, or had it been cut off and someone else came in and?
That was the only deed we had was Ms. Robertson's.
No, that's not my question. Had we ever cut it off and then cut it back on based on this one deed?
No,
She
It
said yes.
could happen.
not by this deed.
It could happen by Ms.
So
Robertson's.
the Providence
If
you're
she
talking about
requested it
is
on and off.
the grandmother who has the deed of record, had the deed of record, had service up until she was no longer, I'm assuming, no longer in the house. And then
She quit claimed the deed to the 3.
The
to the
3.
3. At which case, this one, I assume, walked in and said, please turn the
Right.
service on.
Because it had
Well,
been off for,
Even as of late,
Years.
she presented, or her boyfriend presented a fraudulent lease agreement in his name, which flagged, because of the address, it flagged us, and we're like, this property is owned by so-and-so, and so I've got the lease that he presented the other day. She can't even lease the property.
No.
Well, so let's see if I can keep this bouncing ball straight for everybody,
Right.
okay? So we're back to the grandmother quit claiming to the
Mhm.
3, now becoming 3 names which must actually carry forward even a lease, to
Exactly.
be honest with you.
Precise.
But somebody comes in and files it with a copy of the new deed, and which shows that there are 3 owners, but only one is applying after we turned it on. In which case, we turned it off.
Exactly.
And from that point forward, the property, I assume, has been vacant,
Yes, sir.
certainly without water and
We
sewer.
have not heard from her since January 23rd of this year.
Okay.
Until
So
she showed
fast
us.
forward, she's back again, contact with the 3 owners of record. 2 are not likened to say ever turn the water and sewer on.
The grandmother now non-communicative, and there is no conservatorship over her. estate.
Grandmother, if she quit claimed the
She's-
deed, is no longer even a player in the game.
So she is one of the owners.
She's one of the.
Oh,
three.
she's one of the 3, I'm sorry. She's one of the
So
3.
she did it rather than retaining the life estate, she split it, but she bypassed her children to her grandchildren, and the other grandchild, I'm assuming siblings saying, don't
Mhm.
turn the water on.
Exactly.
Oh, I
Profusely.
can't see anything but a smooth path to victory for somebody here.
I just,
Oh.
and we're fine, the policy and everything's fine, the only thing, and they've called the governor and this one and that one and everything else. As long as what she said is that if we do not have selective enforcement of this policy, I don't wanna get surprised with that. If we're fine there, which I'm sure we are, then we're good.
So we would assume, based on what you said, that her concept of selective enforcement was, until we noticed that the deed didn't match up, she had temporary service. Hence. No, but I'm talking about, we turned the water on, we turned it off.
Isn't she the one we gave emergency service to that last, so we
Yeah.
did do that?
Right.
Yeah.
We're sorry for
That's my point. That, Right, it was a weekend call. We turned it on only to find out she can't stay there. Well, she can stay there. Her property access and use is not our problem. The service is the problem. Right. Well,
But she's not referring to that, she's saying that there were renters and and things like that we allowed service to. And that's what she was saying, and so I just wanna make sure that we don't get, that by some kind of fraudulent act or something, we accidentally cut the water.
It's all documented in our system.
Then we're good,
are we good once again?
maybe. I'd like to
Counsel?
thank you for letting me giving them my card, cause they're whacking it, you can pick.
It's,
Thank you so much.
it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Here's my holiday gift to you. As I look down on your placard, it does say you are legal counsel, does it not?
I just
All
like
right,
make
I
a
just wanted to make sure I wasn't confusing
Ooh.
that with,
Thank you.
chief engineer or something.
No.
Okay,
no.
good. All right. All right, let's move to section 6, if there's no further commentary there. I'm personally glad she came in once. It's been looming, the past no-shows. At least she came. And now she can take her message back to
She's-
Attorney Tim Keller.
Well, she had stated to me on the phone that she'd been away out of the state for a year.
Mhm.
And so she's not been trying to get water for a year.
I know. We can all, and need not go there, we can all just try to put the story together and it just doesn't matter. Probably the best lesson for the whole district is, and why you all are so consistent in that, is stay active, uniform in your application of your policies, and you'll be good. Am I hearing an amen, Council? Okay, all right. we're good.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
all right.
done.
All right, section 6. 6.1 this evening, no actions to be taken. 6.2, water system rehab phase 4. 6.2A specifically, seeking a motion to approve digital engineering water system rehab phase 4 contract in the amount of $367,500 to authorize the chairman to execute the same. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Ertel motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner
Second.
Bisecker seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Items 6 and 3 and 4 this evening, there is no action to take. 6.5, lift station number 3, Force Main Project. 6.5A specifically, seeking a motion to approve Seymour Engineering Lift Station 3 Force Main Project Agreement in the not-to-exceed amount of $146,550 and authorize chairman to execute the same. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Bisecker motions. Can I carry you as a second? Commissioner Nolan?
You can.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
And that motion is carried. Moving us to 6.6, sewer improvements phase 3 project. 6.6A specifically, seeking a motion to approve the State of Mississippi Department of Marine Resources Memorandum of Understanding and Agreement providing GOMESA funding in the amount of $1 million for the sewer improvements phase 3 project and authorize the chairman to execute the same. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Ertel motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, we'll always take $1 million in from anyone who would like to bring it, just to point that out.
Amen.
Leading us to 6.7, miscellaneous construction engineering project. 6.7A specifically seeking a motion to spread upon the minutes the digital engineering WA 2023-07A amendment for the GIS integration project that was approved by the board on October the 24th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Bisecker motions, carry as a second. Commissioner Nolan.
You can.
All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that motion is carried. 6.7B, this evening seeking a motion to approve digital engineering 1 invoice number 6 in the amount of $682.50 for the Preserve Phase 2 plan review, and invoice number 17 in the amount of $2,910 for the GIS integration and maintenance project, both for the period of October 1st, 2024 through November 2nd, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Nolan motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Leading us into the financials in section 7. This evening, docket of claims and financial reports. 7-1A, seeking a motion specifically to approve the payment of docketed claims in the total amount of $216,383.93. Can I get a motion to approve? Commissioner Bisecker motions. Can I get a second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that motion is carried. 7-1B, seeking a motion to acknowledge payment of the unapproved docket of claims as detailed in section 6 in the total amount of $3,592.50. Can I get a motion to approve? Commissioner Bisecker motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that motion is carried. 7-1C, motion to approve payment of the customer deposit refund register in the total amount of $4,241.48. Can I get a motion to approve? Commissioner Bisecker motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that motion is carried. Leading us to the treasurer's report.
Thank you. The available bank balance as of October 31st, 2024 was $7,582,412.99. Of this available balance, $4,561,761 is budgeted in the 5-year CIP plan. $2,324,073 is for operating and maintenance, and the remaining $696,579 is emergency reserve. Our bond principal debt balance is $18,426,000. Our bad debt transfers for October are $21.25. Both total revenues and total expenses are at 7%, which is just below budget for the year. And the October bill cycle indicates a 4% increase in consumption from last month and a 2% increase in consumption from the same time last year. Our operating ratio goal is 1.10, and we're at 1.68. And our debt ratio goal is 1.25. However, with no fiscal year debt activity yet, the ratio is unreportable until next month. Our CIP project spending is at less than 1% so far this year as we begin the new year with the start of some new projects. And our fiscal year 23-24 audit has begun, and the requested financial records are being provided to the auditor. They have also recently mailed out the related party, legal, and bank letters and are expected to be completed with the audit by the end of January, with their presentation to the board expected to be during the February meeting. We are expecting them on site tentatively the week of December 2nd. Thank you.
Any questions for the treasurer's report?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Mr. Bisecker? And nor do I. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
So the audit usually comes with a absence of conflict letter to each of us. Are those going to come out soon? All right.
They mailed them a couple of days ago.
Okay.
You should be getting them soon.
Did you all hear that on the phone? No.
Yes, sir.
We did.
Okay, thank you. I just don't know. She speaks slow, and I realize she's near the microphone, just make sure. All right, old business none this evening. New business, section 9, first one, 9-1. Seeking a motion to approve the 2025 employee insurance renewals presented and recommended by James Moody with Cadence Insurance. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Nolan motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bisecker actually second. First, thank you, Commissioner Tell. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Moody. So leading us to 9-2, seeking a motion to approve 3-year agreement with Waste Pro to provide dumpster service at the 2 district locations and to authorize the chairman to execute the same. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Ertel motions. Can I carry a second? Commissioner Bisecker? Commissioner Bisecker seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion is carried. That leads us to 9-3. And this, of course, relates, this is a new action in 9 that relates to the, addressing the report on the paint on the water tower. Let me read this carefully, but 9.3, seeking a motion to authorize legal counsel to write a letter to Tank Pro demanding corrective action be taken by Tank Pro to correct the inferior paint job to water tower number 1 within 60 days, or the district will take action to call the performance bond posted by the contractor on said job. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Nolan motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval's action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And that motion is carried, and that was the last of the new business, and leading us to 10. It's a motion to adjourn after I read the fact of the next regularly scheduled board meeting will be on December 19th, 2024 at 4 p.m. here at Diamond Head City Hall, Chambers, 5000 Diamond Head Circle. Can I get a motion to approve the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Commissioner Bisecker motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner